Hey everyone, this is Alaska from Call Out Culture. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. And if you are enjoying the podcast and you feel inspired to start your own, let me tell you about the system that we use. It is called Anchor. Best things about Anchor, it's free. There's tools that allow you to create and record and edit your podcast right from your phone and your computer. You can even add a song from Spotify directly from into your episodes. The possibilities are endless of what you could create, whether it's like music analysis or your own radio show or something that the world's never heard before. I don't know what that is. You figure that out. Not my job, yours. Anchor is going to distribute the podcast for you so it'll be heard on Spotify, Apple, and all the other podcast you can use. Like all you do is you upload your podcast and boom, it appears in the other feeds. You can also make money through advertisements like this, or you can also set up like your own sort of Patreon fan support thing. There's no minimum listenership, and everything you need to make your podcast is in one place. So if you want to do a podcast, you want to be like us here at Call Out Culture, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm and get started.
Colo culture, you've been invaded by the loud demonic voice of Free Music Empire.
He's here.
That's right. The Rob Zombie of the blogosphere is here. Dan O, thank you for tuning in, pressing play, paying every month for this Patreon. I assume you do. Free users, get with it. We are here. Zilla Rocca, the coach.
The coach. Hey, timeout. Scotty.
Coach.
Scotty. Put the triangle hand up.
Alaska Adams, the guardian. This thing, if Alaska Adams' place in hip hop is like the guy asking the questions to get through the bridge on Holy Grail.
I'm an enchanter. You may call me Tim. Oh, Tim. Your name's Tim. It's perfect.
Perfect.
There you go.
Right
You are.
here.
What's your favorite color? Blue. I mean, red. Fucking masterpiece.
You used to see him on the bridge just quizzing the new But what was Biz Marquis' worst album? There was no worst album. You know, spring loaded. We're here. We got the bird box, right? The
Blind Box.
Blind box. Bread box. The bread box episode.
I think Bird Box is that movie about people that like
That was cool.
It's the version of what's the one where you can't talk, like the shut up one with
that's
John
Quiet
Krasinski?
Place. Quiet Place.
Yeah.
Quiet Place.
No,
Yeah,
the Quiet
so it's
Box.
the Quiet Place for Vision.
It's the quiet box.
Isn't like Bird Box? They got to go everywhere blindfolded.
Yeah, that one was awesome. With Machine Gun Kelly, he's in that one before he turned into fucking Papa Roach. That was so weird.
It must be so weird to be like a huge celebrity like Sandra Bullock, and for them to be like, "Hey, we got a rip off of this other movie. You want to do it?" And she's like, "I guess." You know.
Yeah.
I enjoyed both movies. I enjoyed Quiet
haven't
Place
seen
1
either of
and
them.
Bird Box. Bird Box is phenomenal. That one's really cool. The ending is a little shaky, but the movie itself is
I just last night watched Leatherface.
sure.
The second Leatherface movie, the one of the
reboot,
the 2013 reboot, I think it was, or 2017 reboot.
Wonderful. I watched
great
that
movie.
movie. I watched the Steven Soderbergh HBO Max movie Kimmy.
Oh, how is
Zoe
that? I want to watch that.
It's not very good. It's not very
No,
good.
that's a bummer.
Beautiful cover image, beautiful cover image.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool looking.
Like the
It's
last.
shocking that the preview made it look good.
Yeah, like it was just it was cool at first, and then when it was over, I was like, word, like that was the movie.
That's
eh?
a bummer.
I don't know, bro.
That's
So,
a bummer.
I would not recommend. 5 out of 10.
I mean, if you're gonna watch anything on HBO right now, it's got to be the Righteous Gemstones.
Well, yes,
Righteous
that
Gemstones.
leads me. I think there needs to be a Call of Culture episode where you diagnose who is who, which gemstone
I have yet to watch it.
I think I'm the only one that's watching the Gemstones.
I want to. I'm gonna get there. Trust me, it's on my list.
I gotta know who the Baby Billy of like underground hip hop is. You know what I mean?
I already know who that is, but I don't want to say it here. I don't want to give it away. I'll tell you in the break, but
we can talk about it. It's awesome. I look forward to. But the blind box is, as I understand it, every host picks 5 albums. None of us have discussed our picks.
Correct.
And these are not going to be Capadonna albums. These are not going to be, Ghostface Kill albums. These will be albums outside of that, which thank you for bringing me in on that.
No doubt. And props to Castro for everybody reaching out. And Castro is recuperating. He's getting some banana nutriments. You know what I mean? He's getting all type of experimental ill gamma rays right now. He's flexing out there. But he will be he's going to be on the internet still. He just couldn't make it tonight. So shouts to everybody reaching out, dog.
Yep. Buy Castro merchandise, Wrecking Crew, Bandcamp. Buy it through his Bandcamp.
Yeah. Wonderful. Ooh. So let's do our picks here. Or Dan, you got it.
Let's go. So, and this is going to be very strange. I'm excited to tell you about this, but I'll just say it and then I'll walk it back. So, The Dog Father by Snoop Dogg. Okay, this is it because, and this album gets shit on Twitter all the time.
True.
People, it's gotten shit on since it came out, but this is a Dan classic, right? There's 2 people in hip hop I owe a great deal of gratitude to. They kind of raised me, and it's Snoop and Chuck D. Really strong choices. And so, obviously, Snoop was just like, I wasn't an 80s hip hop kid. To be clear, I was just an 80s kid. So when I saw Snoop turn into a dog in the "What's My Name" video and jump out the window to avoid the father coming in, that was when I'm in. I got to find out more about this.
Correct.
And from then, I didn't just learn to love Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg taught me about hip hop. Because if you remember, Doggy Style has a cover of Slick Rick's song.
Hell yeah.
So that got me into Slick Rick.
Yep.
So The Dog Father has a cover of the Biz Marquee song. It has Vapors.
Yeah.
And that got me into Biz, right? It got me into that. So he really did, and he kept doing this for a long time. So it's, and this is just, I love this record. I think it's, me and Alaska have talked about how No Way Out by Puff Daddy and the Family is a great listen. Part of it is because of how desperate Puffy is, right? He doesn't know if this is going to work out, right?
Right.
It's the last time you hear him hungry. The Dog Father is kind of that for Snoop. Like, it is, Pac died, and the labels conflict is crazy. Dre left.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what's going to happen, right? He knows there's violence all around him. He resents the violence, but can't really speak up too loud. And so there's a quiet sadness to this album.
Good point.
Underneath the funk, underneath the DJ Pooh production. And the guest
Wait, DJ Pooh produced this record?
Yeah.
A lot of them.
So I'm going to be upfront. I never listened to this record.
I didn't think you would have.
I never heard this record.
You know what's interesting about this one? Snoop was the mother, the father, the Holy Spirit to me as a kid. Like, this guy was him and Dre, like Dan, he pulled me in forever. Like, seeing, the G Thing video and then deep cover before that and all that stuff. Like, he was the one where I was like, oh, anyway, the danger element and the cover and the cartoon and the booklet and the videos and all that. But when this one came out, like, this is after Murder Was the Case. This is after Doggy Style's like the fastest selling like solo rap album, whatever, all the records it set, then Snoop popping up everywhere and everyone's stuff. And like there was a lot riding on this album, but like Dan said, like, but by the time you hit Death Row 96, you're right. Dre's gone. Pac's not there yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not there yet. Warren G's not on Death Row.
Right.
Dog Pound's not heavily involved in this one. Like I feel like Daz, I mean, they're on a couple songs.
Beats.
Yeah, he
Daz
does. Okay, so I'm looking at the track.
beats.
I'm right. Yeah, so the
Yep.
Dog Pound's on 2 and
Groupie,
Corrupt.
Groupie,
So it's mainly like kind of like Corrupt's still Nate Dogg and them. But I just felt like that, like there's no Lady of Rage, right? She's not on this one.
No.
It just didn't have like that community feel of the Chronic and Doggy Style. You know what I mean? Like it was like a Snoop Dogg album. It wasn't like a Death Row album or a Dre album. And I thought, like, I remember like when Snoop's Upside Your Head, I think that was the first single. That just didn't really connect as much as What's My Name.
That's why I never listened to that record.
Right.
I heard that song. I was like, eh.
And then I remember Vapors came out, and that kind of like hit a little harder everywhere just because of the Biz joint.
Right.
And then I remember that album just kind of disappeared because once Pac came around, it kind of made Snoop almost like it was like you know, I'm trying to think of like sports references. Obviously, that's what we do on the show, but it was like he was like one way like the last man standing on a championship team when they trade away all the guys. But then they bring in like a whole new cast, and like now he's like the resident old guy, and there's like newer dudes. So I feel like Pac kind of sucked all the oxygen out of the room. And this album, I think this is only his last one with Death Row, right? He was on No Limit after this, right?
After that,
Top
he was
Dog.
on No Limit. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, No Limit Top Dog's a banger. Or The Games to
That
Be
is a
Sold.
great album. But yes, the game is to be sold, not to be sold. Told was the first.
Yeah, I didn't like that one, but the No Top Dog, No Limit Top Dog's crazy. Woo.
But
Yeah,
that one, Game is to be Sold, has a remake of that Big Posse track, dude.
What?
The Big Daddy Kane
Symphony?
Yes, it has a remake of Symphony.
I didn't at that when that one dropped, I just hated No Limit so much and I was mad at him for going there. But then when No Limit Top Dog, then he had like Exhibit was back, Dre with Sticky Fingers on that album, Raphael Sadiq. It was more like a nice amalgamation versus just like the No Limit, we just crank out an album every week type of thing. But yeah. Alaska, why didn't you like or you didn't check Dogfather, I should say?
Like the first single, like really, and it was like what, 96 you said it came out?
Mm-hmm.
That was like prime, like I'm full on underground. That's all I'm listening to, shit.
Right.
So by the time I would have even gotten back to it, I just, I thought of that single and I was like, no, I need to check it.
Fair enough.
Yep.
He was a hit maker.
And it was rejected, roundly rejected. And
true.
Sometimes living in Maine and loving hip hop exposes you to the most like raw responses to music. There's this one kid who was in my science class and loved Doggy Style. And what he used to do is turn the volume all the way up. At the beginning, that's the song that just starts with him saying bitch in his special.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it would just put that as loud as he could so everybody could hear it and laugh. And like, so I went up to him, was like, what do you think of Dogfather? I love Dogfather. He's like, it isn't swear enough. Like,
that's true. It's not as like filthy. Like the first one's filthy. You know what I mean?
Really filthy, yeah.
And it's coming off of like the NWA, Eazy-E, Chronic, like wild skits. You know what I mean? And when you're young, you're like, like $20, like what was the one they did with the $20 pyramid? What was they call that one? The $20
20 sack pyramid.
20 sack.
Yep.
Or like W balls, Easy dick, like
everybody's gonna have the phone.
W balls. Like it just didn't have, can we get a motherfucking moment of silence? You know what I mean? Like it just didn't have
no,
that.
He wasn't happy. He wasn't happy. It was clear that he wasn't happy. Like there's a song on here called Freestyle Conversation. And the beginning of it is him talking to somebody and them saying like, man, I heard your beats has just shook the speeds out since Dre's gone or whatever. Yeah. And he's like, beats? You think I need beats? And he just starts freestyling and it's a whole freestyle conversation song. And so it was him acknowledging like, people think I'm done.
Correct.
Since Dre, he was sad. And like, there's Up Jump the Boogie. I think there's a line in there where he says like, you know, rather than give you a 9, I'd rather give you a beat and write you a rhyme. Like,
Wow.
I'm tired of the violence. I'm tired of the dying. I want.
Yeah, after the murder the case thing, bro. Like I was like,
Yeah.
man, they're trying to get this guy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and think about, check this too. As of 2015, Doggy Style has sold 11 million copies worldwide.
Yep, that makes sense.
Dogfather did 2 million.
Yeah.
That's a huge drop off.
Yeah. I mean, my Snoop Dogg knowledge goes from Doggy Style to like Drop It Like It's Hot and Beautiful. Like that's like there's a gap that big in my Snoop Dogg knowledge.
Oh wow. You know what album you should really fuck with? The Last Meal's really good. It's got that Timbaland shit.
That is a West Coast album.
That's
real.
a good album.
Yeah.
Then the Neptunes one, Bush. Like it's like Charlie Wilson and Pharrell making like a spring summer cleaning your house album.
It's real goofy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like the blue carpet treatment is kind of the last right?
He's rapping.
No, I have a soft spot for Kool-Aid. I love Kool-Aid, but
yeah,
I
think me and Darko talked about like the blue carpet treatment, where I was like, dude, I was like working my second job out of college, like getting that CD in the mail, and he was like, oh, I was in 6th grade, like playing it in my dad's car, and I was like, bro, we're clearly of different generations. Like,
yeah.
I was paying rent, like paying renter's insurance, you know what I mean, student loans. He's like, I was in my dad's car bumping the blue carpet treatment.
Wow.
Blue carpet treatment's kind of fire. I like that one too.
The other thing that I would bring up about Dogfather that is an interesting thing to think about as a theme, right? Is so one of the things people love about Doggy Style is that it is relatable as shit, right? Drinking gin out of the bottle with the plastic bag around it, and like just hanging out with your friends, you know.
Wearing hockey jerseys in the 90s. It's the best.
For some reason, on interludes, making fun of somebody dying of AIDS. What are you going to do? But it's, but he has so there's a relatability to it. The Dogfather totally distances from that. Look at the cover.
Yeah.
The cover is this kind of the same kind of drawn on dog figure from the beginning, from the first one, but in a suit as a dog. And a big part of this album is like him sending people to do insane things. There's a whole skit where he's like, that motherfucker, he's a bitch, and you should kill him. You go kill him.
God.
You know what I mean? BG, I believe in you, BG, do this. Boom. And like, just go kill him. And like, he's a boss now. He's not a worker.
True.
No, yeah.
And this was the album where I was like, oh shit, like, he has to figure out whether he's going to pretend to be relatable, Chance the Rapper, or he's going to transition and say, no, man, I'm in a suit now. I'm rich.
True.
Yeah.
This is what it's like.
So I'm sorry, real quick, Alaska too.
Yeah, go ahead.
I realized you really would love the 7 Days of Funk album with Dame Funk.
Okay. Yeah, Dame Funk.
Stone's Throw. On Stone's Throw. 7 songs. Snoop, Dame Funk, 7 joints. Snoop just singing, doing funk. It's fucking.
Oh, it's so good.
That's when he was Snoop Lion for like 2 dude.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh my god, that album is fucking awesome. Back to back, like that and Bush came out within a couple years. Like those are like the last 2 newer ones where I was like, okay, like Snoop still got it. Like he's having fun. So what were we gonna say? I'm sorry before I jumped in on you.
Oh, I was gonna say, doesn't it seem like it's something I've just been thinking about? Dr. Dre is like a pyramid scheme.
Go on, please.
You know what I'm saying? Like he brings somebody in, makes them famous,
right?
Gets them a deal under his imprint,
right?
Money kicks back up to him from that label. That person gets famous, brings somebody else in, soaks up their imprint, kicks money back up to that person, kicks money back up to Dre.
You know, like I remember saying to my friends,
scheme.
Yeah, back in the day when it was like, okay, there's Interscope Records at the top, at the very top of the pyramid scheme is Interscope. One rung belief is below that, it's Aftermath. One rung below that is Shady. One rung below that is G Unit. So like, if Young Buck comes out, 50 gets a cut, and then Eminem gets a cut, Dre gets a cut, Jimmy Iovine gets the big. You know what I mean? Like even at the Super Bowl, I predicted, I'm like, Mary J. Blige is going to do fucking Hateration Holleration because Dre produced it. She's got 800 incredible fucking songs. She does the Dre song because we have to genuflect to him. You know what I mean? Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. I'm not with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there was a point in history where it was a pyramid scheme. There's the only way to describe it, right? It was like it was Aftermath, and then it was Shady Records, and then it was G Unit Records, right?
He was the original. He was the original Essential Oils.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's also like, but some of my problems with Dre is not just that he's become really bad at making music, but aside from that, like there's a pyramid scheme of like acknowledgement where like he gets all the credit DJ Quick should get. He gets all the credit Above the Law should get.
A Battle Cat.
That Battle Cat.
Rick Rock.
Daz. He gets all the credit.
Yeah.
Like he gets all the credit. It all falls under that umbrella. He's the Beatles of West Coast rap for people who don't know West Coast rap.
Good point. That's a good point.
One,
I like that.
That's a great point.
What's the next album, my friend?
Should I do? Oh, you want to do? Cool.
Yeah.
We're just letting it on you. Me and Alaska have no.
Yeah. You're just running the albums.
So I was just talking to Andrew.
You're coming out of timeout. You're coming out of timeout. Draw the plays constantly. That's what we got.
I'm doing it. I was just talking to Andrew about this because another Dan classic that nobody cares about is the Coos "Sorry to Bother You," 2012.
Never heard.
It's the album. It's the album that the movie's based on. And pull up the track list. Pull up the tracks. This is the only album where like Killer Mike and Das Racist are on the album.
Word?
Killer Mike, Das Racist, and the Coup together on one song.
Fuck? Sorry. Holy shit. Okay. This is correct.
It's fucking crazy. And so this
and
album,
Tune Yards.
Tune Yards? Gosh, I mean, Alaska, that's like the original, what's the name? Fiona Apple.
The original Fiona Apple record. Well, the original latest Fiona Apple record that everyone's like, it's the greatest thing ever. I love watching people have complete meltdowns on records. Mental health is good for my entertainment.
No, it's totally a different sound from anything the Coup ever did. And amazingly so. Like they brought in the people for this kind of pop punk sound that really just goes that they merge their political shit with. So he's still saying shit like economics is an orchestra of poverty and and disease or whatever, but it's over this like crazy pop punk orchestration with big juicy hooks. And it's crazy. It's awesome. Magic Clap is the first song. It's dope. My son has heard Your Parents' Cocaine way too much. It's just fabulous. Boots Riley is just one of my favorite writers. So it was funny because so when the movie gets announced, Sorry to Bother You, I'm like, what is this? I thought of those weird old No Limit movies where they made the album into a dumb bad movie, and I was like, what is this?
I got the hookup.
Yeah, but anybody who's seen the movie Sorry to Bother You, I went to it with my friend who co-started the site with me, and the movie loses its mind halfway through. Completely.
That's where it lost me. I was like,
mind halfway through. The audience comes out of the theater just like, what? And I turn to my friend and go, I'm so glad these people know what it's like to listen to a Coup album. I'm so glad they understand that the unhinged journey of being in the Coup's presence is the album. The movie is perfectly mirrors what it's like to listen to the Coup.
Interesting. Okay, well, since neither Alaska nor I have ever heard this album, can I toss an album out?
Do it.
I'm thinking of an album that potentially all of us have heard that we've never discussed on this show.
Okay. Cool. I packed up a couple as well.
Okay. Just in case. I just got backups. A Jurassic 5 Quality Control.
Never heard it.
Oh, God.
You never heard it. Okay.
I heard the single. I was like, man, I can't fuck with
okay.
it.
All right. Wait. Okay. Wait.
Yeah.
I want it to be something everyone has at least heard. Okay.
I've heard.
Exhibit 40 Days and 40 Nights.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
Okay. There we go. Yes.
There we go. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Alaska. Thoughts on Exhibit 40 Days and 40 Nights?
I mean, it's a fantastic record. It's not like I gotta pull it up so I can look at it real quick, just so I make sure I'm.
Can I do a J5 rant? Can I do J5 rant while we
do 30 seconds on J5? Hit me.
Fucking J5. I hate them for a reason that isn't their fault. To be honest,
I didn't think you were gonna say this.
J5 was that album was an album that white people adopted completely.
Oh yeah.
And kept talking to me about and kept like, these guys are geniuses. I'm like, they're rapping about cereal. Shut up. Shut up. Leave me alone. You don't like rap. Just stop it. You know?
Yeah, they're definitely one of the like
do it. You got that smile.
It's the white people. It's the white people. They're one of the good ones records.
Oh my, they're articulate. It's like saying they're articulate. Is that what you're going for?
That's exactly what I'm going for.
Oh,
yeah.
And I felt so bad because there's a great documentary on like the good life and that whole scene.
Right.
And those guys were like legit in that scene. MCs just do it. So I felt really bad that was how it turned out, but it became you guys had that episode like I don't like hip hop, but I love artist X,
they're the champions of that.
In there. Yeah, they are.
They're in there.
That's wonderful. All right, so Exhibit 40 Days and 40 Nights, Alaska, go.
It's just a monster of a record. I mean, it was like Exhibit rhymed his ass off on the first record, which I'm blanking on the name of it right now.
At the Speed of Life.
But at Speed of Life, right? Yeah. Right. So he rapped his ass off on that. But the first video that he had for that had that beat that was kind of like.
Is what you get now.
No, what you see is what you get from 40 Days and 40 Nights.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about
the one on Restless where it was like
Paparazzi.
Yeah, like the beat was like it sounded like it was some shit that Robin Thicke would be riding through the fucking city on a delivery bike singing to.
It's
what I mean. It was like
in the rap game. That was my shit. I love it.
So I don't think people gave him the props as an MC that he deserved off of that.
Kill that shit.
So 40 Days at 40 Nights came and he dropped What You See Is What You Get. And that was instant stardom.
Oh, man.
Like that shit brought him from a dude that like was a West Coast rapper that sounded East Coast to just being a fucking superstar.
Agreed.
The shit was just insanity.
Remember when it was him said that song 3 Card Molly with Raz, Kaz, and Saphir, and they were forming a group called the Golden State Warriors.
Yep.
And I was dying for that to come out. Oh my!
Yeah.
I still have the 12-inch. I have the single for 3 Card Molly just to have the acapella, just to have it. You know what I mean?
Oof, so good.
Yeah.
I just pulled up the track list for the 40 Days and 40 Nights, and there is a common producer on both Dogfather and 40 Days, 40 Nights.
Superfly,
baby.
Yeah, man. Really? He makes arguably the song that's the most out of place, Pussy Pop, with Method Man and J.O. Felony. That like kind of is like that fits on the Restless album with Exhibit where he goes super West Coast. You know what I mean? Like I think it's like an album early to put that song on an Exhibit album. It's a little too early, but like Let It Rain with King T and the Alcoholics.
Oh my God. So good.
Let it rain, brother. Let it rain. That shit is nuts.
That shit is insanity.
I fuck with that dude. He came back out again recently. Montage 1. He's on 2 songs in this album, Recycled Assassins, which is ill, and then Nobody Sound Like Me, where he samples Ghostface. I don't want brother sounding like me on no album. That shit is crazy.
Look, he even had Method Man and J.O. Felony.
That's what I was saying. That the Pussy Pop song, it's like a little too early, but Meth sounds great on that joint. Just doing a whole.
Yeah.
Well, and the predominant producer on that album, I didn't even realize was Sir Jinx. Like
it's Alaska's guy right there.
Sir Jinx is.
He's another one. He's another one. Dre comes through and erases Sir Jinx from ever being anything. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
And the crazy shit is like him and Sir Jinx had nothing to do with each other.
Right. But you would think
James
like,
was Ice
nope.
Cube's guy.
Yeah, they're like, oh no, I guess Dre did Ice Cube, and I guess like,
Yeah.
no, he didn't do any of that shit.
No.
All right, that's a good one. And then Alaska, you want to take one, and we'll take a break real quick.
Sure.
Back up.
Let me pop one out on you.
All right.
Let's go with Slick Rick, The Art of Storytelling.
Oh.
I bought that on
Okay.
release day in high school. That's how dedicated
Same.
I was. Well, you were in your graduate studies at Wesleyan.
I was at my grandchild's graduation.
Art of storytelling, dog.
I will say this. I lived by this album. This album is like in the scripture for me. It
wow.
is. Yeah, I like it better than Great Adventures. I love this album so much.
I would agree with you honestly on that one.
It's a better album.
The production's very dated. I will say that, but the rapping is bananas.
He kills that shit. You know what's great about it too? Like, number one, it's got the crazy Portishead sample on Frozen with Raekwon. How can I forget you? Like, that's crazy. Our man Bimmy, shouts to Bimmy from the hip hop Street Figures joint. He's a co-producer on that. It's like the perfect template on like, how do we take the old school rapper and then put out a new album? It's kind of like the Santana album Supernatural, but for Slick Rick. It's like, we're gonna put Raekwon and Big Boy and fucking Redman and like Cannabis, you know what I mean, like Snoop, you know what I mean. But it's like, you're still gonna flex and do you and tell the stories and all that, but we're gonna make it for me. Again, I was when this came out, I was 17 years old. So a 17-year-old buying a Slick Rick on release date, I had never done that before. But because I'm like, oh man, Outkast Street Talking was crazy. That shit was everywhere, man. Oh my god, that
shit was bananas.
Jazzy Faye did that beat.
The sales pitch on this is like this came out in 99.
Right.
You know, you graduated. I would say, like, go ahead. If you were wondering what Slick Rick would sound like with every dope 90s rapper, just get this album.
Yes.
Like, it's, like,
and he runs every single rapper off the track.
He crushes everybody.
It's not even close. It's not even close.
I think the only one I felt like, wow, this could be just a group was Raekwon, Frozen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, we Frozen. Ill Brothers saying throw Rick and Ray on. Oh my god. Amazing. Isn't there a Nas song too? Isn't there like a Nas and Rick song? But I don't think it's
there is. Yeah.
So we need to talk about this because this is
me and Nas bring
it to your hardest. Yes.
Yeah.
Finally. Dun, dun, dun.
Terrible chorus.
Like,
yes,
most people would have just called that song Hardest.
I love how me and Nas bring it. Like, in case you didn't know, Nas is on the song. Like, me and Nas bring it.
It's a sentence.
Produced by Trackmasters, of course. Yeah, it's a, it's great too. What I loved about it, he was smart. Where, like, remember he popped up on the Artist Storytelling remix with Outkast in the video where they're like Muppets and shit. Like, do you ever see that video where they have like a little Muppet of Slick Rick with the eye patch? And then he just went from that. He's like, my album's called The Art of Storytelling. Like, I just did the Outkast song now. I am an Outkast, basically. I'm an Outkast, but I'm also now with Nas because we bring it to the hardest. It's fucking awesome.
So
let me ask you something about this album because
go ahead.
One of the things, Slick Rick gets all the credit for storytelling, right? Storytelling, Slick Rick storytelling,
right.
But Slick Rick might be the coolest British rapper, like in terms of using his accent,
he might be the coolest rapper ever.
Right?
Slick Rick is in my top 3 all time.
Makes sense.
I mean, this motherfucker put out a song that was so funny and so crude about putting it in the butthole.
Adults only. Adults only.
Look, he has a line in there said, "'Cause I ain't even fuck her and her pussy soaking wet. I already had her tit out. If I play my cards right, fuck her, dig her in the hole where she shit out."
Yep. No, I will tell you, if you listen to that song, you will have like PTSD reverberations from it. Like, I can still hear him say, "Honey, little butthole," or whatever. That's terrifying.
my two favorite Slick Rick songs now and like famous things is Sitting in My Car with Dougie Fresh.
Oh my God. Yep.
Where the whole song is
God.
about like he cheats on his girl with his girl's best friend in the same house, but he does it. He's like, but I'm a good man because she's cheating. So he's like, I'm gonna have sex with her friend in her house, but I'm a good guy, but she deserved it. And then he has the other song with Large Professor off the Wild Wild West soundtrack. I Sparkle. That shit is the greatest. Amazing. That is the best. There's a line he says, nothing but scandal here. I outglitter the chandelier. I was like, dude, that's crazy. I outglitter the chandelier.
But he's so fucking cool because, like, if you look at the song transitions in this thing, like, he goes from like Who Rottenham, which is just him like killing the track, to like Two-Way Street, which is really thoughtful.
That's a good song.
You know, these decision making song.
Yep, I Own America, Tie Fight.
That's what I was just going to talk about.
That song.
Part 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
He's like 1 or 2. Like if you were like talking about, was it the Kool Moe Dee had that thing where he said every era of rap has 3 kings, right? Yeah, and that was from his '97 book there.
Yep, I have that joint. Yep,
I've never forgotten it. I would say, if you're talking about that era, the late '80s kind of era, it's what him, Kane, and who like
Rakim.
KRS.
But like those 3 guys created like this style for the next 4 to 5 years for everyone. Yeah, like Dana Dane's whole shit is like, I'm another Slick Rick, but I'm from New York. You know, like, and then real quick, he put out those songs like. He put out like a 2-pack of singles. Shouts to Love Ulysses. 2019, Midas Touch and Can't Dance to a Track That Ain't Got No Soul, where he's rapping his ass off like deep into his 50s, cool videos. He just put out 2 songs. I was like, cool. Then he has a song with like Premiere on the what's his name movie, Jonah Hill Babysitter movie, where it's just Slick Rick and Premiere together doing a song.
Amazing.
I don't even know why, but anyway.
Cool.
This dude said
that verse on Ecstatic. You remember that verse on Ecstatic?
Yeah.
Oh my!
Get the oil. Get the fuck out of my country.
Wow.
Yo, real quick. Since you said that song, my one ex-girlfriend, she's ruined 2 out. She's ruined 1 album for me, where I put her onto Black Sheep, first album, right? And she played the CD so much in her car, I was like, I can't ever listen to Black Sheep again. And I found out through Jeff Weiss, who's still, and this is why I wrote on Vegas Vic. Like I said, why do my exes follow my exes on Instagram? It's kind of like a play on this. Jeff was like, oh yeah, Jeff was like, oh, I still follow her on Facebook. You know, she got married and had Drez at her wedding do fucking The Choice Is Yours. I was like, that's my shit. But I was dating her when the Ecstatic came out, right? And when the Ecstatic came out, we would play that in the car, and she would always play the Auditorium, the song with Slick Rick. Mm-hmm. And she would always just be around the house saying, they don't understand it on another planet. And I was like, stop. Like, you're ruining Slick Rick on the Mos Def album. Like, stop doing that. Like, you beat these things in the ground. That's my shit. This is mine. Like, it's like George. Like, this is George's world. Like, you're clashing of 2 George. Like, you already ruined Black Sheep. Don't ruin. She ruined that part for me. So unfortunately, I can't get. What were you gonna say, Lask? I'm sorry.
I was just gonna talk about some lines. That's all. It just cracked.
Talk about some lines, man.
This motherfucker in I Run America said he's so crazy. I smash ripping up the place. Give a Mac a taste. Wipe my ass with a rapper's face. Cars come to a dead stop, and rain find ways not to drop up on my head top.
He's like so vulgar, but like in a really like wink kind of way. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'm so gross, but it's kind of funny because I'm so like pleasant about it. You know what I mean?
He said, reefer sweet, wrap it up, free fix greet. Every rapper rap maggot underneath Rick's feet.
Right?
Dog, the dude is so good, and his flow and like the way he puts words together, nobody is even close to him.
He's the only dude that doesn't sound sweet and stupid rapping with a smile on his face.
Yeah.
Like, he always raps with a smile. You know?
Yeah.
And it's
I think
hard.
the song on this that reminds me of that is Impress the Kid. right?
Ooh, that's my
Impress the
shit.
Kid.
Impress the
Impress
Kid.
the Kid is like, that's like laid back confidence. That's like,
Oof.
he doesn't sound stressed at
Trying
all.
to impress the kid. DJ SNS on that beat. That joint's hard.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Let's do our first break in the Bird
Okay.
Box, Blind Box, Bread Box episode.
Or
Call Out
young
Culture. Dan O. Free Music Empire.
Free Music Empire.
Take
Live
it
from hip hop.
over.
Yeah, stepping in.
No.
Remember like back in the day when like Johnny Carson would be out and they would have like guests like Gary Shandling would host Tonight Show
Joan
and
Rivers.
Yep.
Leno and Joan Rivers. Yeah. So Dan is our fucking Gary Shandling right now.
That's amazing.
There we go.
That's
Pre
one of my
Gary
favorite.
Shandling show.
The Black Panther Party 10-point program, written October 15, 1966. We want freedom. We want power to determine the destiny of our black community. We believe that black people will not be free until we are able to determine our destiny. 2, we want full employment for our people. We believe that the federal government is responsible and obligated to give every man employment and a guaranteed income. 3, we want an end to the robbery by the capitalists of our black community. We believe that this racist government has robbed us and now we are demanding the overdue debt of 40 acres and 2 mules. 4, we want decent housing fit for the shelter of human beings. We believe that the white landlords will not give decent housing to our black community, then the housing and the land should be made into cooperatives so that our community, with government aid, can build and make decent housing for its people. 5, we want education for our people that exposes the true nature of this decadent American society. We want education that teaches us our true history and our role in the present-day society. 6, we want all black men to be exempt from military service. We believe that black people should not be forced to fight in the military service to defend a racist government that does not protect us. 7, we want an immediate end to police brutality and the murder of black people. We believe we can end police brutality in our black community by organizing black self-defense groups that are dedicated to defending our black community from racist police oppression and brutality. 8, we want freedom for all black men held in federal, state, county, and city prisons and jails. We believe that all black people should be released of the many jails and prisons because they have not received a fair and impartial trial. 9, we want all black people, when brought to trial, to be tried in court by a jury of their peer group or people from their black communities as defined by the Constitution of the United States. We believe that the court should follow the United States Constitution so that black people will receive fair trials. 10, we want land, bread, housing, education, clothing, justice, and peace. When, in the course of the human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them, a decent respect of the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to this separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men are created equal, that are endowed by the Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Little Robert Hutton, Curly Castro, out on Backwoods Studios. Get it now.
What is up, internet humans? This is Wally Clark. When I am not swimming the Panama Canal in Thames or teaching infants how to steal, I am listening to the Call Out Culture podcast with Zilla, Curly Castro, and Alaska. Make sure you check out my new record, Goon, fully produced by Flu and available on vinyl through Tough Kong Records. And remember, you are nothing and I am everything.
Welcome back. We are back from our glorious break. I hope you heard a Wally Clark commercial that made you scratch your head. What a gentleman.
What a guy.
And we're back. We're going through this blind box of beautiful music. And we've had some great conversations. I can't wait to hear what we have next. Is it my turn? Am I up now?
Yeah, so essentially your only job tonight was just to pick and host. Like me and Alaska are just big like pundits being like, I don't like that at all. No, that doesn't go with family values. Go on.
So let me go with if I'm next, let me go with I'm gonna throw it down because I have some the picks where some are Dan classics, but these are in the other category of these people are so good that some of their best albums get overlooked.
Ooh.
And so I want to declare that I think Small Bills Don't Play It Straight might be the best Halloween record of all time. In terms of hip hop, right?
I don't think Alaska's heard the Small Bills album yet.
It's so
Yeah.
Halloween. It's so
It
fucking
is.
beautiful. You know,
That's the
just
Lucid.
Concept Jackson on E.T. Diamond.
That's his best verse in his life, dog.
Oh, that's the shit that just came out recently, right?
Yeah, with the Lasso and
Lasso,
Lucid.
yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Dude, Safe House? Come on, man.
Safe House.
Oh,
Shout out Field.
God.
Oh my God. You know?
You know what's great about this? I mean, Alaska, I don't know how much you sat with. Don't Play It Straight.
I've never even heard it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've played this one. This came out right when I think Brass came out potentially. I
Okay.
feel like there was another backwoods adjacent thing happening. And when this one came out on Mellow, Lasso is like he's fucking nasty. I think this album is going to be the one that now's a good time to check it, honestly, because Haram's been out for a while and there's a lull between a Woods and a Lucid project, solo or together. It's a great time to sit in with this one. Like Fielded, No Saj, who was on Shrines,
Harbor?
War Mother, you know what I mean? Like Woods. I mean, it's a cool, you know what it's like? It's like when you heard Alchemist enter the Mobb Deep world, you're like, okay, it's Mobb Deep, but it's like it's another strain of Mobb Deep.
Yeah.
It's like here's the backwoods world of Willie Green and Dove and all those people we love, but like here's like another doorway to open. That's what Lucid and Lasso do with like live trumpet players, you know what I mean? And like just
Nice.
But not in a cheesy, like college radio way of like you said, like, whoa, white people like it because there's an upright bass. It's like dark, you know what I mean? Like in a really ill way. It's a real, I think and Dan's right. It does give you like good Halloween vibes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this was one of the, I don't know, I think this was one of the ones that, because I had really trained myself to talk about Woods being the best lyricist in the world, right? Mm-hmm. I had my rap down. And this was like part of the thing where I started to be like, damn, Elucid's like an all-timer. Like,
oh yeah.
I started to really get into it and understand, like, God, you can put this dude anywhere. Like,
yeah.
And it was like, the thing about Don't Play It Straight is, I was like, this is incredible. And Woods couldn't do this. Like, that's,
not his type of shit.
It's just that's what it is. And I started to find the reverence that Woods has for Elucid, Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't heard this, but it's funny you said that Woods couldn't do this. Because when you said that, when you were saying that Elucid can do like, has more range maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like I see that with Elucid. Like I think Elucid in some ways is a more traditional rapper than Woods is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, lyrically they're both like upper echelon all-time greats. But I think Elucid has more sort of dimensions to his delivery than Woods does.
Right.
And that's not a slight at Woods. Woods has like an all-time great delivery. But it's different in a way that it's great because of the uniqueness of it.
100%. You know what's crazy about Elucid? Like yesterday I was driving to work and I just was like playing my iTunes on shuffle. And I had like all these crazy ass shit playing. I was tweeting them. And one of the ones I didn't tweet was an Elucid song, probably from 2011 or 12, from either Smash and Grab or Police and Thieves. He had another one called like Dream On N Bomb, which is crazy. He just did like a lot of really ill blog mixtapes that he really does not like anymore or does not want to acknowledge. So I didn't want to put him on blast. But he had one of them where I remember when I heard it at the time, this is at least 10 years ago, where he was so future back then, rhyming on like bass shit and like putting effects on beats. And he was just amazing. And he flipped Common saying, if I don't like it, I don't like it. That don't mean that I'm hating. And that was the hook on one of these songs. And back then I was like, wait a second, this fucking futuristic dude who's like emerging from like a smoked out, burnt down city with all this crazy shit. He's doing some Common bars. And I was like, oh, like he's on some like super rap shit. I can do that. And then that gave me the confidence to start like pulling rap lines everywhere for hooks, like that song. When I first heard that, I'm like, oh, we're allowed to do that. Oh shit, you know what I mean? And then later on with Woods, he gave me the feeling to do like sports references when I produced a song with him and Premo Mark's Wild Years, where he said, I was in the war room when they drafted Brandon Whedon. And I was like, wait, what? Like, you the most forgettable quarterback in the world. Like, that's a brag. And I was like, these guys are fly with it. Like, it's like dolled up to be some next shit, but it's really just some hip hop people. You know what I mean? Like going on their path. So I was like, that was very influential for me in ways that I had forgotten. But shouts to those dudes.
And,
that's a cool call.
I actually got a chance to do like an email interview with Elucid about this album, because
he was your MVP, right, that year?
I think this might have been before that whole thing.
Okay.
So I just heard the singles and was like, this is nuts. Like, I need to talk to him about this. And so I had 5 questions for him without even hearing the record, right? I was like, who is Kayana? Why is she on every song? What is going on here? And he said something like, she really had a good grasp of like fitting into the song kind of regardless of what genre it is, you know, something like that, you know, that's where his head was at. Like, let's not call this anything. Let's just do it.
Wow.
You know, he was killing it. So that's the experimental nature of it. And the Lasso is somebody who doesn't give a fuck about what you think, what anything thinks. He's not market correcting. The Lasso's doing whatever the Lasso wants to do. And seeking out that fearlessness is something that Elucid doesn't have to do at this point and does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fuck with that 2121 record from last year. He did that jazz shit. Mellow. Whew. He's not like the way he uses saxophones, to me, like, it didn't occur to me how much I love the saxophone until Castro and I a couple years ago started playing with this band Swift Technique. Shouts to Swift. Where, like, you know, we were like opening for Rakim and like just we were on TV in Philly with them. They're ill. And just being around like a saxophone player a lot, like in the flesh and doing shows, I'm like, yo, the saxophone's my shit. You know what I mean? Like, and the Lasso uses a lot of saxophone. So, because it's like the only instrument that's like melodic but has bass in it. You know what I mean? From like a brass segment. So that's my shit right there. That's a good call. Pulling that one out. Cool. What's your next album there, Dano?
Let's go with, and this one might need to be traded out depending on how many people have heard this or heard of it.
These were supposed to be albums that everybody knew.
And to be fair about this, I have no understanding of that. That has always been my issue.
Okay.
I don't know what.
To be fair, I have no qualifications for this job. I did apply. I have no degree. I don't know what's going on.
I don't care about underground or overground. I just kind of, because I'm not a rapper, I don't really care. I just like stuff. So
fair.
But Hometown Hero by Trey the Truth. I think it's like 20.
I don't know what that is.
I have an alternate.
I love Trey the Truth.
Okay.
I like him a lot. I like Trey a lot, but
I don't know who Trey the Truth is.
From
I'll
Houston.
give a brief summation on that and give you an alternate pick. They basically, in 2017, Hurricane Harvey hits Houston, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he, from all accounts, he just got mad, walked out the door, got in his truck, bought a shitload of fast food, and put it out on Instagram. Whoever's hurting, DM me. I'll swing by your house and give you food. And so, like, he created this thing called the Relief Gang that just delivered supplies in trucks to people who needed it.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's amazing.
Like, there were people. He was like Robin Hood in that bitch. He was like people. There's an article they were saying they'd be boiling the water so they could use the water, and they'd look out there and go, "Is that Trey the Truth coming?" Like, they would listen out the door. Like, what? And so Hometown Hero is the album after that.
Wow.
Where he gets to start it with like news clips and shit. And he gets to be like, you know, the whole vibe is just like, you've got gold chains, I save people from hurricanes, you know?
Ultimate flex. Super flex.
So, but I love Trey the Truth. I just had to throw So, but yes, alternate here would be. And this is kind of a what happened to this guy thing. It's Control System.
Oh,
Ab
Soul.
Ab-Soul.
Wow, I love this album. Oh my god, I love this joint.
Control System, 2012.
It's got pineal gland on it, right? Pineal gland, pineal gland.
Yep.
That shit is hard, bro. This album was, me and Castro used to bump this shit. This was like the beginning of our TDE obsession. It was like this shit, Habits and Contradictions, Section 80. Man, this album.
There was a real debate. There was a real debate when TDE started as to who the best was, right? Because J-Rock was so solid.
Yep. And he was out first. He was out way before TDE existed, I feel like, right? On like Interscope or some shit.
Definitely.
Like
he was, but Ab-Soul had his own people that were Ab-Soul people. And they were like, Ab-Soul's the one.
Yep.
And he's terrible now.
He's real whack. It's like shocking how whack he is.
Yes. I'm fascinated by that. Going from somebody who was like, that guy's next up and has the best team around him, right? Nothing.
You know what? He was like a fully realized Razkaz. You know what I mean? Like if you gave Razkaz incredible music and collaborators, be like, listen, go as deep as you want with conspiracy theories, African history, social ills of today, kind of clunky punchlines. We'll let it go if the beats are crazy and everyone you're pulling in is like bringing their A game. And like he has the one song, The Book of Soul, where he talks about like his girlfriend going deaf, or which one is it? Like his girlfriend's going blind or deaf? It's like about some disability. I think he's like slowly going blind or something.
The Book of Soul. I think she dies. I think
she dies. The girlfriend dies. Oh my god. Then he has like the song like Bohemian Grove, all about like conspiracy theories. And he has like terrorist threats with Danny Brown, like Black Lip Bastard remix where all the black hippie dudes are going crazy. It's a great album, dude. Man,
Echo on the first track.
Track 2 is nuts.
Yep.
On some Blur shit. He just called it Track 2. It's the best fucking beat on the album. Control, man. If Castro was here, he would go bonkers because he and we used to just play this shit crazy. Just like before we were recorded, like be in the car, we would play Ab-Soul. He was our guy, like more than Kendrick. It was Ab-Soul. It wasn't Kendrick. It was Ab-Soul. It was Ab-Soul and Schoolboy. That was like our guys from early TDE, man. Damn. I remember like playing that next one, like Some Days, where he's like carrying the cross like Jesus.
Yeah.
And there was like 2 good songs. And I was like, bro.
Didn't work. It didn't work. And I think, and Do As Thou Wilt, by the way, is one of the worst albums by a great MC that I think I've heard in my life. It's because he is like, so what happens to him, and it's hard to quantify this, right? Like, but there's some people we think we give clearance to talk about sex in really in-depth ways. And there's some people we just say, no, you can't do that. Please
like
don't.
Nas. Nas is the worst, most profane, despicable sex rapper in the world ever. Yep. And Ab-Soul should never
I still don't think Nas ever had sex based on the way he makes sex rhymes. He's the 40-year-old virgin, like talking about
how
hot take.
That's a hot take.
Alaska, did you ever fuck with Ab-Soul?
No.
Oh, okay.
We're like over here, Dan.
All right. Well, what's Alaska? What's your pick then? Since you don't listen to music,
since I haven't listened to music since 1988.
I think Bismarck. He's pretty new. I'm digging that guy's stuff. I'm
gonna go Diamond D, Stunts, Blunts, and Hip Hop.
Oh, Stunts. We haven't talked about that album ever. It's a good call.
No, we haven't. We should have.
Baby.
I'm a big Diamond D guy, man. I love Diamond D.
It's an album that came out of nowhere. I mean, I know you guys were probably in Virtro when it came out.
Sure.
Yeah, but it came out and it was like nobody knew it was coming. It came out the same day, I think, as Redman What the Album.
Whoa. Yeah, I was 10. I was 10 when this one hit. Best Kept Secret.
Yeah.
One track.
And I just remember like when it came out, everybody being like, this is the one. This is the album that's like the heater. We were all waiting for Redman, which was dope, but this is the one.
You know what's ill about this album is like, I mean, like me, it's kind of funny how much when me and Small Pro, the first album for Career Crooks, like him flipping Best Kept Secret, on our song Corrupt Novelist, like that, like blew people away.
Yep.
And when he sent me the song, you know, because he remixed some other shit we did, and I was like, I don't know, bro, it's kind of kitschy. Like you just straight up like just did fucking Best Kept Secret. Like, I don't know about this, man. He's like, nah, it'll be fun, you know, whatever. And then we put out, and everyone was like, oh my God. And I was like, oh, all right, I guess people really love Diamond D like us. I didn't really think that would matter.
Yeah, no, people love Diamond D. And he did like every single style of music that was out at the time on this record.
Yep.
He had like just the straight like hardcore rap shit, the cool storytelling joints. He had like the club bangers, like the house club bangers, almost even like the R&B shit. Like, I'm so confused, I don't know what to do about me. And it's like the shit that's got like the moral storytelling to it as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like all the shit was on there. Everything you wanted was on there. Even had like the dope posse cuts, shitty posse cuts.
Yeah.
You know, he had everything. Everything you want on a record was on there.
Oh, what's my shit on this?
No, when I was digging into the DITC crew, I just kept thinking about how unfair it was that they had so many dope producers.
Oh my God. Showbiz is so slept on. Oh my, I love Show. I love Show.
And Finesse, like, right? I mean, just crazy.
It's just too much. The did you guys ever
Is
check?
Finesse the most slept on producer ever?
Might be.
I mean, I interviewed him at some point during COVID when he did the Motown album where he got all the stems from Motown, like, and like just updated them. And he was working with Jay Zone a lot, which is crazy. When you look at Finesse's credit, I said to him, I looked before the interview, I was like, you do a lot of album closers. Like he doesn't do the juicy loop with the single. He's like Suicidal Thoughts for Big. He does the song on Chronic 2001 about like Dre's brother who dies.
Right.
Like he doesn't have, I forget the song he has on CNN on War Report. It's not like Blood Money, you know what I mean? Or TONY. He always has like the introspective emotional album cut. And I think he closed like 3 or 4 albums. OC on Jewels, he closes that shit. He's just got like an ill lane. But him as a rapper is like the most punchline, like flexing dude. You know what I mean? Oh, real quick, Diamond D. So what'd you think of Hatred, Passions, and Infidelity?
Nothing.
Nothing. I had no thoughts. It's a weird album only because like there's one song in there, Gather Round, which is one of my favorite songs ever, where it's like putting that album out in 97 was like 3.5 years too late. Because that album is very
like that
still,
was the problem.
Yeah, that album's still like 93 to 95-ish. And then 97, it sounds old the day it comes out. You're like, no. But Gather Round sounds like an outtake from Stunts Blunts, but like polished. So I always go back to that song. But yeah, that's not a good record.
When you listen to 90s hip hop, you get that like timing was extra important because hip hop, it was so formative those years, right? There was so teenage years of hip hop that like if your album came out in a year or 2 years too late, you were done. You were cooked. Like if the wave was over, you were done.
And it was so dated if you missed it.
Straight up.
It's what happened to Real with
Grand Puba Maxwell.
Yeah. His record just came out like a year too late. A year earlier would have been the biggest record in the world. A year too late, it sounded like he was 40 years old.
Yep.
It's no good. All right. So do we have any other for round 2 or we want to take our next Steel Tip Dove break? Me?
Yeah.
There was one I was gonna say. Fuck, I had it in my mind. Oh, let me look real quick. It was from like.
I'll save it for next round. I could pull another one.
It was from like. Oh yeah, hit me.
Easy does it.
Woo. Oh my god.
So check this out. After I saw Straight Outta Compton, it was like right before my son was born. And my wife and I went to go see that movie. She was pregnant as shit. And we had a fucking blast seeing that movie, right? And I was like, yo, I'm just going to listen to every single NWA album, like from all of them, like around that time, right? Because I had like the Ice Cube records and the Dre record, but I wasn't like listening to MC Ren in the moment or like Easy in the 80s and, you know, whatever. So I remember listening to all of them like chronologically from the NWA albums and then like Easy chronologically, Ren, all that. And I remember when the Easy Does It and I was like, this shit is like, it sounds new only because it's like the sounds they're using from them kind of jacking like the Rick Rubin styles with the 808s and the Rollins and all that shit. And then like even, you know, Boys in the Hood, you know, like just songs and melodies and sounds people have flipped a million times still. But then even him just creating like the larger than life, insane, you know, ghetto millionaire, pimp, drug dealer, murderer, executioner, gang leader, like he created that archetype. To me, Easy, he is gangster rap. Like shouts to School D, Ice-T, but like those were songs. Easy was like, everything about me is the genre of gangster rap. So
it's the way Jam Master Jay created the look for Run DMC.
Yes.
Easy did the same thing for gangster rap.
100,000%.
That's it. I mean, and there's a bunch of jumping off points just in the sense that not only was he like king gangster, but I think one of the things that you could learn just listening to Easy Does It is this is also the guy you wanted to be friends with at the party.
Fuck yeah.
So funny, so charismatic, friends with everybody. He's also that guy too.
Yeah.
Love it, man.
Yeah, I would say he's maybe even more that guy than the you know, I mean, we all know there's stories of his gangster exploits. But he was also smart enough to have Ice Cube write his rhymes because Ice Cube's the funniest man in hip hop.
Ice Cube's amazing.
Ice Cube's like he's like a genius joke teller, but like when you give it to someone who's really, really funny, it like really fucking transcends. And like having Easy be like that dude who's like, I'm gonna say the wildest shit with this fucking nasally voice and these Jerry curls because it's gonna piss you off. And like I know you're gonna hate listen to my records and talk about me. Like it's in the right hands, Cube. I got you. You know what I mean? Like it's wonderful.
I'm like
Gary Coleman size, and I'm going to tell you these stories.
Gary Coleman.
Have I shared my Ice Cube story with you people?
No.
Okay, so I don't know if I've revealed this before. I was almost on MTV talking to Ice Cube.
Go on.
Wow.
Yes, this is real. There was a show called MTV Fanatic.
I remember that.
Where they grabbed a schmuck and had him talk to the celebrity. And I was down. It was down to the last two for Ice Cube.
Oh God!
I was one of the last two.
Damn it!
And I almost got it because they loved the angle of like a white kid in Maine, like just being an Ice Cube fanatic.
Of course,
they thought that was like hilarious. So I was in the running, but I didn't play my cards right. So they were like, what is your favorite Ice Cube song? And I was like, I Ain't the One. You know, it's like, I don't know if we can sell that like a teenage.
Yeah.
And the other
Black Korea. That's my favorite Ice Cube song. Black Korea.
This is on.
Horny little devil.
Oh my God.
But yeah, burn it, right? The one but no, they got it. The other person, they were like, you're on the phone with me, they're like, the other person in the running? They make their whole family celebrate Ice Cube's birthday. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, you win.
That's not what I did.
Yeah.
They're also psychopaths.
Got that. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
He backed out.
They're hoping to get Ice Cube's skin to wear.
They're gonna steal his fucking underwear and shit and smell them and shit. Fucking weirdos.
They backed out of it, but that would have been horrifying. Teenage and Ice Cube would have been.
Cube. First of all, I love Black Korea. Can you talk more about your thoughts on Korean Americans in LA? I'm 14. What's up? Like that's a bit.
Yep.
All
No.
right, let's
Talk
take our
to me about how
second.
women manipulate people. Give me more details on this.
Yo, shouts to Cube, man. We're gonna do an episode soon on Cube, only about Ice Cube.
Yeah.
It's in the doc.
Yeah, we got some good ones coming up, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
We can tell you about them off the record.
We'll do that, but not for the people listening on the Call-Out Culture break.
No, you find out when you find out.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, that's it. So we'll be back.
What up, y'all? It's Panels, man. East Hampton Polar Boys. When the catalog out now, man. We got CDs, merch, all that. InsubordinateRecords.com, man. Make sure you don't sleep on it, because before you know it, it's going to be all gone. So make sure you head over there, stream it, do all that. Long live Lord Jones, man. Win the catalog, album of the year. You know what it is. Peace.
Hey yo, she caught me fly woo garments from overseas, Bolognese with extra palm, drown rotini, fresh panini, ground bill, chopped garlic and olives, get demolished, fly air of goddess, never modest, perfect sonics fill my palace, wires missing, acoustics hitting, needle, bless the vinyl, been the champion, just give me the title, only speak when
it's that time again, we're back, Career Crooks, me and Small Professor. New album, Never at Peace, available now worldwide, streaming on all platforms. Very, very, very limited pieces of merch left. You can scoop it at wreckingcrew.bandcamp.com. If you've heard the Live from the Liner Notes episode, you know what it is, you know what we're about. If you haven't, go back and peep it. Play the new record featuring Shrapnel, I Alive, and Donovan Days, Blueprint, DJ Manipulator, and that's all she wrote. New banger, me and Small Pro, Never at Peace, Career Crooks, available now.
Boom. Call-Out Culture Podcast featuring Dano from Free Music Empire.
State of the Dan. That's
He's
right.
like, you're like motherfucking, you're like John Wetland out of the fucking bullpen coming in. You know what I mean? Or like
I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider Dan, and I'm not gonna get shut out by Mr. Alaska Adams. I'm gonna get on his board. I'm hoping I get on.
I hope so, Dan.
Yep.
Yo, you're like
treading on thin ice. You might get sent down to the minors.
Yo, I recommend everybody.
Only gonna be able to show up on I don't know. I don't want to diss any podcast.
Yo, you might.
It was gonna be a joke. It wasn't gonna be a diss, but
yeah, it's fucked up.
It could be taken the wrong way.
Yo, Dano's been cranking out the fucking co-op culture adjacent shows. He's got the Chong Wizard join up now. Hour and 45 minutes on the history of Chong Wizard Records. Essential listening, talking about Midnight Suns, talking about all the Chris Crack albums, the fucking Blessing Season, all the shit Chong's been doing, man. And then he's got the motherfucking Andrew interview from earlier today, minutes before he tapped in. We like, yo, man, can you give us like 4 quality innings out of pen? He's like, yo, no problem. Boom. He's like Paul Ossenmacher coming, you know what I mean? Just like, just a specialist, you know what I mean? Eat some innings up for us. So he's here. So subscribe and support Free Music Empire. It's the best $5 to spend every month. And you can fuck with us on Patreon. $10 a month gets you all this fly shit from Dan and from us. How you like that? Boom. All right.
Can I tell you something real quick that just came across my text feed?
Sure.
Do it.
From a friend of mine. It kind of plays into like West Coast humor, like these nuts types of jokes.
Sure.
So he was at a family function and his son, who's 9, went to his grandmother and said, let me read it verbatim.
Do it.
The funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. So he went up to his grandma and said, have you ever heard of Imagine Dragons? And then he said, imagine dragging my balls across your face.
That's hard. That's good.
That's really good.
Work. That's that's top-notch 9-year-olding. That's like
that dragging my balls. That's the most 9-year-old. I would be mad if he didn't say that at 9. You gotta say that.
Yeah, she was like, "What's Imagine Dragons?" He's like, "Imagine Dragon."
That's like the reboot of D's Nuts. You got any of this D? You got any of this, or this dick? You got any of this dick?
Yeah.
He said, "You got any of this dick, motherfucker?" Shouts to kids. That's 17.
And any parents listening, when people tell you don't be sarcastic around your children, ignore them. Look,
Oh my
the
God.
world is full of sarcasm. Kids got to learn it. Might as well learn it from you. You know?
Oh my
Just
God.
be strong.
All right, here we
It's
go.
important
Last
for them
round.
to have that skill set. It's really a way to let shit roll off your shoulders, quite honestly.
Yo,
Yeah.
real quick, I thought you were gonna hit him with the thing that somebody hit Kanye with on his DMs, where he said,
Oh
"Yay,
my God.
I heard D had some info on Skeet, I guess Pete, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I heard
Yeah,
D."
yeah.
The guy screen grabbed his Instagram messaging with Kanye, where he says, "Yay, I heard D had some info on Skeet." He goes, "Who's D? Please give me his @ He went, "D's nuts," laughing face, and Kanye responded, "Find God."
I heard that was Freddie Gibbs. Am I
That's it.
wrong with Freddie? I heard that
I
was
don't
Freddie
know.
Gibbs.
This guy,
I
it might have been
heard
Freddie might have shared. That's my worst. Yeah, I heard D. D's nuts. Find God.
Freddie.
He just wrote
Freddie.
in like all lowercase. Find God.
Yep.
Did you see the shit about Kanye at the Super Bowl?
Nah, I missed that shit.
He showed up wearing this wild mask.
Yes. The
Oh, he was
mask.
sitting with
And
homeboy
some
Antonio
dude who was
Brown.
like a couple rows behind him was like saying that, like basically tweeting his conversation. And Kanye was like to his boys, like, "Yo, it's really hot. I'm having trouble breathing." And he was like, "Can I take it? I gotta take this off." They're like, "Nah, man, you can't take it off. You came in here with it. It's a look. You got to pull it off." He's like, "What about halftime? Like at halftime, I could go and like change out. It'll be like an outfit change." They were like,
That's
"Nah,
hilarious.
G."
Oh my God. I did start watching the Kanye documentary on Netflix, which is actually like incredibly recorded and documented from 2002. Like
Okay.
it's great because it's you're just watching him. The funniest part is, real quick, and we'll get to our show, him going into each random office in the Rockefeller establishment, like in an office building. He's going to like all the admin assistants and rapping When It All Falls Down, and no one gives a fuck. They're like answering phones. They're like waving him down to like flag Dame Dash in the hallway. Like truly no one gave a fuck about this guy in Rockefeller.
Oh yeah.
And he has a camera crew following him for 20 years. And no one cared about this dude making It All Falls Down. It's crazy.
He was the most annoying. You could just tell he was like, everybody has a rapper friend like this.
Yes.
Yep.
That was the most annoying fucking person ever.
Right.
And he's like the one that slipped through the cracks.
Dude, it's
Because
amazing.
he had friends that were like, just put him out so he'll leave us alone.
Yeah, yes, like all the ad, like, and they'll show like, oh, such and such. Here's Kayam Hip Hop, who's now like a huge A&R. Here's Big Face Gary, who's now like Boys with Nori. Here's this person, and they're all just like sitting there on the couch, being like, he walks over to the CDR and puts in the CD with All Falls Down, and they're just like, they don't have cell phones to like ignore him yet. So they're all just like painfully just looking at him as he's like rapping along, and they're like, "Oh my God, like get this guy the fuck out of here."
When we were talking about like the annoying shit that people do, remember I was talking about like the
Yes.
rapper or producer just looks at you the whole time?
Yes, that's him.
Like,
yep, that's
that
him.
dude, that's Kanye.
Yes.
Just staring at you in your
But like,
eyes.
but like watching that footage of him doing that shit in like 2002 is amazing. Like I'm surprised they kept it all in this documentary so far. But yeah, it's called
That's awesome.
Genius, whatever. So anyway, all right, last round, blind box. What do you got, Dan?
Genius.
All right, get on the board. This is another one in my like series of like, because this is what happens where people are really good, their knowledge is really good, and then honestly, critics don't know how to write about them anymore, right? They're just like, yeah, E40 put out a new one and it was good. I don't know what to say. Do you like E40? Listen to it. Yeah,
True.
they don't know how to. They don't know what to do, and I think I felt that happening with Kelly Chris, to be honest. I felt that vibe, like it was like we called him a genius, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yep.
He's still a genius, but we don't know what to say, right? So like, and by the way, 4 or 5 years ago, I couldn't get over the nasally delivery that he makes fun of on Innocent Country 2, which is Innocent Country 2 with Chris Keys. So I couldn't get over the delivery. I thought he was like a nerd rapper or something, and I was not into it. And then, honestly, it might have been Woods describing his feature on Call Out Country. Like Woods said something like he swagged all over that track. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
He's not a nerd rapper. He's not a conscious rapper. He's not teaching me lessons. That dude is swag. Like he is energy, pure energy. And like that helped me learn to understand him. And Innocent Country 2 is my favorite. It's amazing.
It's a beautiful record.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, everything he does is amazing. He was one of those, I came to him late, just like you, Dan. Like, I think I started dabbling with him, maybe like Lullabies for a Broken Brain. But then it was like, Being You is great. I wish I could be you more often. Was the one
my
that,
God.
I was like, this shit's amazing.
Yep.
Dog, there's these lines he says on Obamacare, right? And he does the thing when he flow where he either goes real deep voice where it's hard to hear what he's saying because it's so deep.
Yeah.
Or he does that blah, 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 like nasally shit. On Obamacare, he says, please, they grip the draws like copper tone dogs. Remember copper tone? But it ain't got shit to say like back when Papa Doc lost. More reach than Dr. Ock's arms. Crazy, try to play me, you better call Saul. Train of thought on track, R&R, my R&R. Floating through the fog off more drugs than a DeBarge. Come on, bro.
Dude, he's too nasty.
And then he has another line where he says, like, it's like exactly how I felt over all this time, where he says, like, I gotta see if I can find the bars. Actually, he says something like, he was like, not a weirdo. I was just waiting for you to catch up or something. And I was like, thank you. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. You got it. You know what I mean? Like, dude is a fucking animal. I'm trying to burn his bitch down. Try to break it. Fuck your opinion about us. Don't mean this, Nate, man.
Yeah, I mean,
he's awesome. Innocent Country 2 is great.
Innocent Country 2 isn't like the record to get to know him. Obviously, you could listen to African American Gentlemen Are Men, which is great.
Castro worships that album.
But like, this album is special because like he has multiple posse tracks that slam, right? With like Sacred Safe, Cavalier, Homeboy Sandman, Mirage, 7 minutes long, right? Earl Sweatshirt, Denmark Vesey, Big Sen, Nappy Nina, Fresh Daily, and Five Ill on When You Fall. He puts so many people on songs, and it's always his song, right? It's always his song. No one ever outshines him, but everyone fits. And it's special. Doing that is special, man. It's hard to have a bunch of features, line them up, and still have it be coherently your journey.
This is also our second Tune Yards record.
Tune Yards.
He's got Merrill Garbus all over it.
Yep.
Dude.
The Tune Yards.
It's funny. I was just playing back shouts to Sean P and Small Pro 86 Witness. And he has I was playing the album back, me and Castro on it, Reef's on it, shouts to Reef. And I was playing it back, and I've listened to this album a million times. And Quelly's on the song called Latoya Jackson. And I was like, his voice is so deep on that song, it's really hard to really catch what he's saying, right? When you hear it, though, you break it down, you're like, okay, he's got the best verse on the album. Period. Like this whole rapping ass album with Mayhem Loren and Your Old Droog and Rockness Monster and Sean Price, rest in peace. Quelly has the best verse.
Right.
And I was like, he says, Sandlot, Bambino's Ballin' a Beast, shitting on your plans to walk the yard where we eat. Rochambeau your kids, airbag your seats, prick. Still cop nicks to smoke these. High grade, when hitting it works like old cheese. You be at the liquor store selling burned DVDs. My life is cold as ice. Rick James, Tina Marie. Like, come on, man. Like this.
No, it's those things. And honestly, it'll take you a while to realize that Kelly Chris murdered the shit, or like owned it, because
Yeah.
kind of you're enjoying it. You're like, I like that flavor. And then you listen to it for the 8th time. You're like, I can't stop thinking about Kelly Chris. Like he has that thing.
He has it, dude. He has the one joint on the Spencer for Hire album with Vic Spencer and Sonny Jim, where he says something like, been hip hop since Pearl Jam was Mookie Blaylock. I was like, bro, that's like subterranean ill shit, man. Like,
right?
No one has ever said that in rap. Like, that's fucking amazing, dude. Like,
that's really wild shit.
Even again, like on the Sean P album, he opens up his verse. He says, bro, your whole life's a letdown. Your dogs call you a bitch. Bitches don't call you. Rats call you a snitch. Snitches call you connect. Your baby mom's a street bum who still calls collect. Oh my God. Like he was funnier than Sean Price.
Yep.
Like, how do you do that shit? You know what I mean?
That's amazing.
He's so, bro, your whole life's a letdown. Your dog call you a bitch. Bitches don't call you. Rats call you a snitch. Snitches call you connect. Your baby mom's a street bum who still calls you collect.
It's the wildest shit.
Like, another thing I was thinking about with Kelly Chris is that, like, he's experimented, done different things, changed his sound, right? Chris Keys, beautiful
album,
beautiful piano in that, and like other albums just don't. They all sound different, and then you're like, oh, by the way, he's also like an incredible producer. Oh yeah, he produced everybody's favorite Homeboy Sandman album. Yeah. He just does that. Like, it's become to the point where you're like, there's I call this the Rambo theory, right? Where like you watch a Rambo movie and you aren't riveted anymore by the suspense because he's going to win.
Right.
Yeah. You're like, Rambo's going to win. I don't care. You torture him. Rambo's going to win. And Kelly Chris is going to win. And so I think it got to a point where people are like, yeah, that makes sense.
It's always saying like, what's the best Tim Duncan season? I don't know. They're all fucking 2010, 3 blocks, 60 wins. I don't know what the best one is. They're all fucking awesome. Like, that shit is boring. Like, what? He's amazing. I don't know what else to say. That shit is empty, man. That's a good call. Yeah, shouts to Kelly. I've been saying last 6, 7 years, I'm like, he fucking lapped Danny Brown.
Oh,
like, he came in the game producing on Danny Brown. Now he blew Danny Brown the fuck out of here. There's not even a question.
And I've always had a different comp, and we talked about this. That to me, I comp him with Rap Ferreira. That like there's these people who are like hardcore Rap Ferreira people.
Right.
And they're like, this is the best guy, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Kelly Chris is like has more swing in his flow.
Yep.
Funnier.
Yep.
And he's smart as shit. Like,
correct.
If you want smart shit, he's got you. If you want poetic shit, he's got you. But if you want funny shit with it moves, like, he's got you. Like, I just don't see, it's no knock on Rapper or Milo. It's just that I'd rather have Kelly Chris.
Fam, let me tell you this right now. The Everything's Fine album with Jean Grey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look, man, Jean Grey, I was aware of her since she was fucking what, right? From back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Jean Grey has never sound like she's never had more swing and flavor until she, I guess now her husband, until she started fucking with Quelly. Like, that Everything's Fine album, she was probably in year fucking 30 of rapping.
Right.
And she's never sound better than that Everything's Fine shit. Like, that shit is crazy. But the crazy thing about that album is, like, when this goes to like the Milo shit, Quelly is so amazing because on that album, for example, like Innocent Country, Guns, he gives you like very heavy current societal ills. But then he gives it to you in ways where you're like, you don't even know he's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and I always love innovation like that, where it's like, you don't even really know what's happening in the moment. You're like, oh, this is just some banging cool shit. And then you step back, you're like, wait a second, like, this guy's talking about like poverty, racism, systemic, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God. But he's doing it in a way where you're like, you could just jam out to that shit. And it's like, that's way harder to pull off than anything else.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Chicharrones, right? Like, holy shit, dude. Like, he kind of dominates. Like,
oh my God, he destroys that shit.
He's incredible. And it's just, we're just too used to it at this point. But like, I hope that kids are listening to Kelly Chris and being like, I can do whatever the fuck I want. Right?
Straight
like,
up.
Right? The lesson is do what the fuck you want. It'll work out.
Yeah.
If you're that good, if you perfect it.
Like he has the
I mean, in fairness,
it's
it's also the lesson with Milo too, right?
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like he has this shit on no doubt on Everything's Fine. I know we're like not talking about this album, but like Gold, Purple, Orange. The video, shouts to Dunscap who filmed that shit. The video is like so weird on some like Eric Andre Adult Swim shit, but the rhymes is like everybody alt-right gotta be white, everybody disagree gotta be wrong, every black dick gotta be log, every mixtape drop gotta be free, everybody from the hood gotta be G, everything in the news gotta be real, right? Every Jew golden rule gotta save bills. Like he's saying the worst shit, right? Like every stereotype. Every young brother got a deadbeat daddy. Every independent lady attitude trashy. Everybody ain't lit, gotta be old. If you dress like that, you gotta want to fuck. If I got locks, then they say gotta stay blowed. Like he's just outlining the worst stereotypes of people, right?
Yep.
At the height of Trump, and no one even knows that's what he's doing because the presentation is like lighthearted and over the top, silly.
Yep.
But the content is like really searing, and he does that. Like he gives you the medicine with the sugar. You know what I mean? Like better than anybody. Period.
Like another thing that you could learn from like Innocent Country 2 and from Kelly in specific is fear no one. Right? Fear no one. Like Grease from the Elbows, dude. Pink Sifu is an incredibly experimental artist in its own right, hugely important. But that's Kelly's song, right? I mean, that is so much swing to that, and then it ends with the Woods, the Crazy Woods conversation voicemail thing that's so funny. Yeah, no, it's. I listened to that album all the way through. I never pick singles out or add it to playlists. I do it all the way through.
It's a nice record.
He's fucking amazing, man. Like, I'm glad you brought that dude up. We haven't really talked about him in depth. Like we've talked about him
here and there.
In the midst of albums he's on that we've talked about or guests, but we've never just. And I remember when he would be on like Shots Fired podcast with Jeff and No Can Do. And I used to text Jeff. I'm like, why is he not like on the show every fucking week? He's hilarious. Like, he's the best, dude. You just want to like hang out with this dude. He's like, yeah, I don't know, man.
No, he's not really big social media everywhere, dude. He's not that dude at this point. So it's
right,
weird.
That's a good man. You want to wrap it up, Alaska? One album?
I think we can wrap it up there, man. I'm good with that.
Okay. Can I just toss one album real quick?
Go ahead.
I don't think you've heard this album.
Okay.
But I'm doing this for Castro. Obi Trice, Cheers.
Oh my God.
That album's fucking awesome.
There's so much mythology around this album. There's so much mythology around Obi
I don't think I
Trice.
know anybody that's heard that album until just this moment.
That album's fucking incredible, dude. Obi Trice.
Yeah, I've never heard anybody talk about this record.
Obi Trice is like Alaska. Obi Trice is the backup quarterback that everybody thinks should start.
Joe Webb. He's like Joe Webb.
Okay.
Remember that dude, Joe Webb? Yeah.
So he's good until you get tape on him, and then you're like, meh.
Yeah.
He's good. He's good for 4 games.
You're like, ah, shit.
Like 4 games when he goes 3-1 with a good defense. You're like, man, this guy's got some shit. And then like the Dolphins give him like a 5-year deal, and he goes fucking 2-10. You're like, oof.
Yeah.
Oof. The Dolphins always fall for that shit. It's always a
The
Dolphin.
Seahawks give him a fucking like $14 million a year contract, draft Russell Wilson, and the rest is
Yeah,
history.
what was it? Matt
Yeah.
Flynn. Matt Flynn.
Yeah, Matt
Joe
Flynn. Nobody
Webb.
ever heard of Matt Flynn again after that.
Matt Flynn. I'll say this about the Obi album. First of all, just even putting his shit at the beginning of that one Eminem song where he goes, Obi Trice, real name, no gimmicks.
Yeah.
It's like the first like viral marketing scheme in the history of the world. You know what I mean? Like, this looks like a job for me. But this song starts off with Obi Trice, real name, no gimmicks. That song was crazy too, that Obi Trice shit. But like Cheers is like the best. I don't know, man. It's like the most tolerable aftermath Dre G Unit beats. You know what I mean? Like shit hits the fans crazy. What's the other song on that album? Oh fuck, I gotta look it up. Man, that album it did numbers because of course they had like Eminem do a single called Got Some Teeth, which is like it's so weird because Obi's like this hood ass fucking Detroit rapper. And everyone was like, well, if you're going to come out with Eminem, it's going to be like some like zany, like carnival sideshow song, but it's going to go double platinum because we're going to play it somewhere. But like no rap people, no black human beings played that song off this album. Like it's so out of place. But he has like, Shit Hits the Fan. He's got the song with like, there's this Busta song, I think, on this album too. I can't remember his. Oh yeah. Oh, with Busta, crazy. Look in My Eyes with Nate Dogg, crazy. Set Up with Nate Dogg, crazy. Average Man, like he just has joints on this album. You're just like, okay, like, all right, I'm down to go 4-1 with Joe Webb. Like, all right, let's see what we got here. Like, this is fucking cool. Okay, looking pretty good. Make the wild card. You know what I mean? What, Dan? What's your vibes with Obi Trice? Cheers.
I mean, honestly, like there's so many Lloyd Banks projects I'd rather listen to.
Wow.
Like I'm not gonna lie to you. I've always thought the backup quarterback thing, like this is just somebody like that people glommed on because it was like, I don't know, like people that like the Mets and they're like, I'm not a Yankees fan. You're like, it's fine, you know. But it's to be the other sauce. They picked the Obi Trice, but I never thought much of it. I mean, I don't. Yeah, it was.
All I know about Obi Trice is what you said in the beginning of that Eminem song. I'm like,
Obi
oh, yeah,
Trice,
cool voice.
real names, no gimmicks. So real quick, and we'll wrap up. His next album was called Second Rounds on Me. Right, I was very excited for this album because he had this first single called Cry Now. Cry Now sounds like some Just Blaze, Kanye, Rockefeller soul shit, and he's just spitting crazy. And you're like, oh my God, like Obi Trice is like leveling up. Like this dude's a fucking problem. So I was all excited about this album. And then I bought it and I was like, oof, that's the best song. Like the first single should never be like the best song on the entire album. And he had a song with like Akon called Snitch, where the song's banging, but like they blackballed it because it was like, remember during the Stop Snitching campaign with Cam and all that shit? They like blackballed the song because it was saying like, don't be a snitch. So like, that's not cool. Like that's a threat to police. So they spent all this money to get Akon to be on this guy's single and they fucking blackballed the song. And then the album was just dead on arrival. It couldn't do anything. So
man, that snitching campaign. The funniest part of it was like Fox News knew so little about rap that they would bring Geraldo on to slowly explain snitching and like slowly explain the problems with it and how mean it is to say stop snitching. It was funny as hell. He just over and over again.
Like he got canceled. He's like one of that shit got canceled, dog. Like they canceled Snitch featuring Akon, and the song's banging. Like the hook, the beat is crazy, and they shut it down. And Obi was just. And I remember at the time he was like, "I'm trying to be my own man. I'm not trying to be like, you know, it's like some D12 Eminem shady rap. Like he was like, I want to be like a real like Detroit rapper." And then they canceled that snitch shit, and he was finished, dude. He was a wrap.
Man.
But Cry Now was like, that was the Joe Webb. I'm like, okay, man, shit. All right, this guy could start.
It's such a bad move to cancel it. Like, that's all the fucking free publicity. You ride that shit.
They didn't do anything with that song, dude. They didn't do
but
shit.
Joe Rogan is riding that shit to billions of dollars.
Weeks of Joe Rogan, bro.
Yeah.
Let's not put it all on this single. This is 18 songs. 9 of them are produced by Eminem or co-produced by Eminem.
Yeah.
The worst producer in the history of hip hop.
Hands down. Wait, are you talking about the second album?
The second one.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not. And it was made during the worst era in rap, 2006.
Yeah, but this was also an era where you only needed 2 good songs on an album to go multi-platinum.
Correct.
You know, like this is the era that killed album sales. Because record labels like, we'll put out 2 good songs and 17 whack ones, and people still give us $20 for a CD.
Yes. But
Yeah,
Dan, remember when they tried to make like J.R. Rodham a thing?
Oh my God.
He's all over this album too.
If you look at those Aftermath records, what stands out is how badly they're curated, right? In terms of like, they're just like, hey, Lloyd Banks, rap with Jeremiah's going to do this one with you. What?
Yeah.
What? Like, that second Obi Trice album has multiple Trey songs.
Yes,
it's easily just an AR guy being like, put Trey songs, like, awful.
It says there's a Japan edition bonus tracks. He's got a song produced by Ninth Wonder featuring Jaguar Wright.
Yep.
I'm like, that's an odd pairing in 2006. Like,
what?
Yeah.
How would you do that?
But yeah, but I will say
also his albums are Cheers, Second Rounds on Me.
Yep.
Special Reserve.
Yep.
That one's
Bottoms
crazy
Up,
with Moss.
and The
Special Reserve.
Hangover.
Yes.
I mean, it's like you're really running with a lame theme, bro.
It's the EPMD situation, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Awesome. He just kept rolling with that. He's like, I'm locked in.
I will say Special
This one will
Reserve
be the one that puts me over the top.
Which one? Oh yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I will say Special Reserve, produced by Moss, who did he did Kilo on Fish Scale and a bunch of other shit he's like from Toronto or something. Special
Awesome.
Reserve's like, it's just Obi Trice Ramen on like basically Griselda beats from 2009. Highly recommend that one. I would not recommend Second Rounds on Me. I would recommend Cheers. Cheers is the Busta joint alone is worth checking the album, because they were like, we're just gonna have Busta do like some huge anthemic chanting hook, which Busta's fucking great at. But yeah, that was I just want to throw that out there because I was like, there's no way Alaska's heard Obi Trice. Cheers. But
looking through those track listings just had me frustrated again, like of how we just became so frustrated with Aftermath of like their in-house producers were so fucking bad.
Mike Elizondo, who did a Fiona Apple album in the middle of all this, he did Extraordinary Machine.
Great record.
Yeah, he did. He was like working with Exhibit, Eminem, Obi Trice. He's like, oh, I'm gonna be late, guys. I gotta work with Fiona Apple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, they had all these weird features that were happening, and it was just bad. It was just a bad situation. Everybody thought Eminem could produce. It was
God.
Listeners, check it out, Zilla Rocca. Listen, as a shorty, I was playing in the front yard of the crib and I fell down and I bumped my head. And then somebody helped me up and asked me if I bumped my head, and I said, yeah. So then they said, oh, so that means we gonna switch it up on her. And I said, yeah, Andrew is the greatest. And known as a shorty, I was always told that if I ain't gonna be part of the greatest, I gotta align with the greatest myself. And that's Andrew. The Rain Knows What Is Doing album available now. Cassettes are sold out, but we got CDs, beanies, dad hats, mugs. It's cracking. $3pistol.com for fans of Beck, Evidence, Buck 65, Daptone Records. If you're with it, spread love. If people want the wild shit, we're gonna give you some more. Andrew, The Rain Knows What It's Doing, available now.
Has this ever happened to you? You go to drink a hot drink, but it's too hot and it burns your mouth.
God damn it.
So you cool it down with an ice cube, but the ice cube is haunted. Now you hear the voice of the governess echoing through your head, even though she's been dead for hundreds of years. Now you're at work. Your boss is talking to you, but all you can hear is, I know who killed me. I know who killed me. You've got to help the governess. But you won't be able to. Not while your boss is talking. Not while he's alive. Now you're on the run. It'll be nightfall soon, and you only have an hour left of kerosene in your flashlight. Why did you buy a flashlight that runs on kerosene? You hear the sirens in the distance. It won't be long now. Luckily, there's a solution. Call Me When You're Outside, the new album by Steel Tip Dove, is available now on Backwoods Studios Records. Limited run of vinyl and CDs available on backwoodsstudios.com. Digital album available on all digital streaming sites.
We did it. If you're listening to the regular stream, you missed 20 minutes of Alaska comparing Eminem to bootcut sheets and Applebee's. Shouts to that one country song I like. The Applebee's on a Sunday, whatever the fuck that country song is. They play at Target. I fuck with that song.
I was amazed when I found out that was a real song because the first time I heard it was in an Applebee's commercial.
I love that shit.
So I was like, oh, it's some shit for the commercial. That's cute.
Because the album is just called like country stuff.
Real song. Yeah.
Walker Hayes, country stuff.
Walker Hayes, country stuff.
My girl like Applebee's. Like and Eminem was like, oh, that's my shit. Ooh, that's my production.
That's
so,
way.
Yeah. So
I'm sure he's on the Outback Steakhouse remix, the song they play at Outback Steakhouse.
Oh yeah,
the Hooters fucking chopped and screwed version.
You just called Eminem the bloomin' onion of rap.
Yeah, so fuck with us on Patreon if you want to hear us shit on Eminem for 15 to 20 minutes. Us with Dano from Free Music Empire. So he's filling an hour. He was on 3 days rest. He came in, gave us 4 quality innings. You know what I mean? Yeah. Lefty on lefty. Got some good ground outs to shortstop. So salute to Dan. Call Out Culture. Fuck with us on Patreon to support the show directly. We really thank everybody that's stepped up since Castro's letting people know what's going on with his health and been supporting the show. All that money is going right to his pocket. So we appreciate you guys. And then again, if you want to fuck with any Castro material, merch, backwoods, that works too. If you just want to fuck with us in general, you could do that. If you just want to check out what we have going on, you can go to Free Music Empire, subscribe, $5 hollers. That shit is popping. On my end, the Andrew album on $3 Pistol, like sold out of tapes within 10, 11 days, which is crazy. It's on streaming. I said this on my newsletter. This is real. If you add or favorite or like the Andrew album on Spotify or Apple, screen grab it and send it to me on DM on Instagram or Twitter. Send me your PayPal. I will send you $1. So that's real. So I've sent out some money because I want to pay the fucking supporters. I'm not trying to give Facebook $10 to $50 for an ad and hope people that don't know us come grab the record. I want the people that are already on board support the record, get some streams up for my man. You do that, you screen grab it, boom, $1. I send it to you right away. How you like that? You get paid to listen to fucking music you like already. Pretty good deal. I think so. So you could do that shit. Alaska, anything else you got, my man?
No, nothing right now.
Sure.
Back
Love
in
it.
School. Back at it.
Back at them.
Last semester.
The
late graduation.
Follow me on the YouTube channel, Free Music Empire. The I would say also the YouTube space, Free Music Empire, where Google, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Now, I've discovered bumper music and how to do bumper music through Audacity and cut up stuff. It's been fun. I've decided to do one producer for like a while. The first one was NCL Tim. Super fun. Me and my son just cutting up NCL Tim. We've decided the next bumper music producer focus is Disco Vietnam.
Nice.
I'm going through all the House Rabbi stuff and I'm just gonna rock it, man.
It's funny. I was texting him today. I'm like, Barry, let me put out House Rabbi on cassette. And he was like, no. If I put it on cassette, that means rappers won't pick them as beats down the line. I'm like, all right, fair enough. So, Disco Vietnam. That's my guy right there.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it. So, Call Out Culture, Free Music Empire, Curly Castro. We're all signing off. Thanks for everybody checking us out. Follow us, love us. We love you back. Thanks for enjoy Applebee's. Enjoy Applebee's and American Eagle.
On a date night.
On a date night.
With your boot cut, jeans, and stage fright.
Follow us on TikTok.
Follow us on TikTok. Me and Dan.
No, you two, stop it.
Yeah,
baby.
TikTok, we out here.
Your pawns for Jai Ping or whatever the fuck his name is.
Jai Pig. That's fucked up.
The chairman of the Chinese government.
All right, guys. I'll see you later.
Yeah. Peace.
Man. Peace.
Later.